It's great to see that there are people out there helping our children face their demons. But what if your daughter is suffering from depression? Clinical signs of depression are hard to detect in teenage girls, and depression is very serious and real. With incidents of teenage suicide on the rise and more children experimenting with sex and drugs, parents need to be alert. That brings us to our next question. Is a therapeutic boarding school right for my daughter?
There are special challenges to raising teenage girls. How can we teach our daughters to be safe while encouraging their independence and self-confidence? Sociological forces such as magazine and media ads are demanding that girls focus on physical presence that is attractive to the opposite sex. If not monitored, what kind of damage can this really do to teenage girls?
When you're looking at depression and how much it affects different families and different children, I think that the consistent factor is the role of the family and how it plays in their ability to deal and cope with the depression that they're facing.
Some of the warning signs or at-risk behaviors that parents should be looking for, probably the biggest one that we see is either increased sadness or increased irritability. And both of those things are normal in adolescence. The thing to be watching for is when it gets extreme. Parents need to be very actively involved in getting to know what's going on with their daughters, and they can do that in a lot of ways. Some of the clues to be looking for are withdrawal and irritability. Part of the way that they can do that is to really early on start to have a really open dialogue with their daughters. Talking about feelings, talking about the day's events so that they have a sense for when something happens that's abnormal or different from what they've normally been discussing. Important for families to be able to tap into local resources. We serve kids from all over the country, and the way that that happens is that there are referring professional consultants all over the country that know about treatment programs around the country and around the world and help families to get connected to just the right place for their girl.
We today live in a really high-paced, high-pressured society that really puts out false images and distorts how happiness or success is perceived. With the explosion of reality TV, we've seen this image even more distorted, where our girls today view this and think, oh, happiness and self-esteem and success and fulfillment and popularity come from what these people on TV are doing, and that's ultimately not correct. Some things that girls can do in dealing with the stresses of growing up, the biggest one is to have a support system. Be that family or friends. If there's a healthy support system that will strengthen them, that's the #1 thing. Also being active, being involved, finding things that interest them, building their self-esteem and self-worth. Another big part is going to be just the parental piece, and that they need to have no answers. They need to have structure and limits. They need to be able to work through difficult times. They need to develop a value system that will lead to great standards that will help them pursue great things in their adulthood.
Remember, if you notice any of the troubling signs of depression, to contact a professional right away. And if you're having a bad day, I think I know just what you need to cheer up, or at least put you in a more peaceful mood. Rock has been used for beauty, tools, fire since the beginning of time. Some of man's greatest creations have been from rock. Our next question is, how can I bring nature's beauty to my home?